I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
Hey everybody, this is Roman from Roman Empire Entertainment. I am here with my good friend Izzy, and we are going to be reviewing episode 1 of season 2, X-Men 97. Hey Izzy, how's it going?
Good, Roman. Good. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. So just want to let everybody know before we dive in, we are going to have spoilers. We're going to be going full well into this like a buffet on this episode. So yeah, if you want to stop now and watch us later, or just watch us later, spoil the spoilers. Episode 1, season 2 of X-Men 97. What were your thoughts?
It was surprising. It was good. I was very pleased with how they kind of threw us into the timelines,
Mhm.
you know? Yeah, it was cool. I wasn't sure what to expect. I don't know too much as far as X-Men lore, and I know the apocalypse timelines themselves can be pretty, I don't want to say messy, but I think time travel itself can be kind of messy itself, but it's cool. But I'm really excited to have Apocalypse back. I know he was a big part of that first show. Having him in this one is pretty cool. And seeing his, I guess, effect on everything and like the future and how they showed all that was really cool. Yeah, that was really fun to see.
Well, considering the fact that he wasn't really he was kind of left out of, he was absent from season 1 of X-Men 97. I thought it was like, at some point you have to get to Apocalypse because he's not their number one villain, but he's definitely, I'd say, one of the biggest villains in the Marvel universe.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, definitely. He's such a presence too. That guy is something else for sure.
Yeah, he's rather godly.
He is.
So essentially the synopsis for this, of what I gathered, was Forge and Bishop, they're in 1997, and then Bishop heads to the past for the Rise of Apocalypse, where he's in Saba Noor for that part of the team, and then Forge goes ahead to the 40th century to visit Cyclops, Jean Grey, and the rest of the X-Men team, and they're just trying to get the team back into the 90s, like the trailer for the season said. What questions did you have on it, like about the characters and such on that episode?
Well, for one, Mother Ascani, that's her name?
Yeah.
Right? Is that how you say it? There again, with not knowing much of her or about her, I was kind of instantly thrown off. I was like, can we trust this lady? Who is she? Like, she's got some interesting intentions, the way she talks about Nathan a lot and how he's destined for this prophecy, how prophecies can go sometimes. So I was kind of interested to see where that would lead to and how they would get back from the past or from the future and back to the past where they belong and whatnot. Mother Scana, yeah, she really kind of threw me off a little bit. Nathan himself, really, I have a lot of questions about him because I understand that he, turns into Cable eventually, but he seems fairly normal so far, short of his virus and his powers. And I'm not too sure about what all kind of powers he has. I didn't know that he had the telepathy. Has he always had that? Is that something that's always been a part of him?
I believe so. I believe he's had the telepathy in him because he is, he's a mutant. He's from Madeline Pryor and Cyclops, of course. And then the thing that okay, so I'll admit here, I was at a little bit of a deficiency because as much as I pride myself on it as being an X-Men fan, I didn't really know what the hell Cable does.
I wasn't too sure because I saw some old comics, someone talking about it recently, and he used to be the Traveler. Was that his first name? Is that what they called him at first?
I believe so.
I wasn't even sure what his powers were exactly through that. I just know that he kept coming back and fighting them. The most I was exposed to Cable was through X-Men, the first series, and then the Deadpool movie. That was like the most Cable I've ever gotten. So I was very curious as to how he functioned and what he was all about. But he's a cool character. He's very mysterious, a very hardened character, I assume, from his time having to deal with so much. He's grown on me. He's definitely one of my favorites. I think he's definitely one of my favorites out of the show, for sure. Big fan of Cable now.
Well, when you saw Cable before, did you ever feel like that arm of his was a cyborg? Because it's like literally
100%.
His skin is metal. Like I guess it's about a part of because it's the legacy virus, as I understand it, the techno-organic virus. Do you think it was just a cyborg arm?
Hey, I assumed he was like part robot. Yeah, I didn't know what his whole deal was. Especially coming from the future, you kind of expect maybe something of that nature, all his technology that he has and just time traveling in general. So I'm like, got some Terminator vibes a little bit. And I'm like, this guy could definitely be some kind of cyborg for sure. that's like he gets that technology. Is that what my understanding? Is that like it's like given to him or something?
I think because his whole story essentially was he contracted the legacy virus and he had to be taken into the far future in order to cure him. And
Right.
I'm supposing the side effect of that was the fact that he had that metal integrated into his body, essentially.
And is that what helps him exactly?
I believe it's an artifact of it, but at the same time, again, anybody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong on this, please educate us with a good comment on Cable and his technology and his abilities and the cyborg arm.
Is it celestial tech? Is that what that is?
It could be celestial tech, but I mean, I definitely know Apocalypse is imbued with celestial technology,
Right.
but I'm not for certain if it is celestial or not. Or again, if it was like just like an artifact, like a symptom of that virus that he had, and then it was like he just grew like metal on his body.
Oh, I see.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Two things. One, I really like the relationship that they've established in the first episode between Jean and Cyclops and young Nathan. Like, we're your
Oh,
parents. We love you. That's good writing.
yes, absolutely.
Do you feel like this show improves on, and I don't want to knock the original animated series because I love the original animated series, but do you feel like there's more weight to it? Like, because that's what I'm getting.
Oh yeah, it definitely feels like it. It feels like the Annie has been upped in this show for sure. You can feel it, and not to jump ahead, but like through these first few episodes that they dropped, you can. It almost like you can feel their desperation for like needing to get this done and needing to figure out a way to stop all of this, you know, or the way to help him, Nathan in general too, and especially from like Jean and Cyclops' perspective. I think as parents, they don't want to put their kid in danger because the whole point of sending him to the future was to save him. And then it turns out that they're just putting him up against one of, if not their greatest foe, which as a father, I would understand that would frighten me for sure. Throwing my son into a fire like that. And then, especially with some strange lady who is sitting here telling you that he's destined for this thing and he's supposed to do this, understandably would freak me out, as it does them, I think, a little bit. You can tell that they're very hesitant to push him forward through that and even just to leave him. Like when Forge is like, you know, when he shows up and he's like, we got to get out of here. And they don't want to go. And even when he tells Storm, you can tell she's like, oh, that's not going to be that simple. You know, just that look she gives him. And he knows it, and he knows it immediately.
Yeah, that's the great thing about this show. I don't believe that they ever addressed Cable as a young boy as Nathan Summers. He was always Cable in the original series. They never went into his background really. And again, that's the one thing I love about this new series, this X-Men 97 in total, is because they're exploring storylines from the 90s comics that the original series didn't explore.
It feels a lot more fleshed out, if that's the right thing to say, I guess. Getting into the nitty gritty of everything and getting into the other, you know, into the past and the future, you know, between those two teams, you see how it's all affected by Apocalypse. And you see what he can, especially in the future timeline, right? You can see how he's affected the whole world, which is crazy because it just seems like everything's just like a wasteland at this point. Like he's just completely taken over, right? Is that kind of what it looks like in the future?
Yeah, in the far-flung future, I mean, Apocalypse has pretty much taken over the entire world. He's conquered it pretty much. Cable has to, essentially, he's trying to fight Apocalypse. I believe he's trying to destroy him. It gives me very much like the vibes of kind of Terminator, 2029
Oh yeah.
Los Angeles.
And yeah.
The callback, and again, the comic, I'm not entirely for certain on it, but I love the fact because in the old series, Cable had that little cube that came out of his arm, and it was like a female computer voice.
Little AI voice.
Little AI. His Alexa, basically. Oh, I better not say anything.
Oh,
That's some cars playing or something. But the thing that's really cool I love about that is that was also the computer on that ship that they powered up. And they put it in him in this episode. And I don't know if you remember, but way back when in the old series, they had Beast on that same ship. And that voice was very much like, I mean, it was almost like a relationship they were developing. Do you remember that episode at all?
I don't know. I'd have to watch that again. It's been a long time since I watched the whole series.
It was awesome, just having that kind of that connection of that computer. And then just, it's now, and it's part of Cable. I mean, it's his companion basically that he uses, throughout the whole the old series. Right. I love the first episode. Do you have any closing thoughts on episode 1?
By far my favorite part of it, 2 favorite parts. One is Storm's solar storm like energy that she boosts up the ship. I just love that they keep giving her great moments like that. You know, it's refreshing, especially after the movies all these years where Storm is kind of she's there, she's present, she doesn't do a whole lot, but she gets some cool moments, I guess. But like what, especially going back to season one, episode one, when they give her that opening scene, you know, in the desert when she shows up with the tornado, and then in this one when she gets that moment too. Like I just love it. I just hope they keep building on stuff like that and showing her mega level power, you know, like which is really awesome. So I love that. I love that. And then the second part, which is funny because I don't know how I spaced it when Wolverine shows up to save Forge, right? And Wolverine and Storm show up to save Forge from those robots at first, his bone claws. And I had forgotten, I don't know how I had forgotten that Magneto had ripped his adamantium out, and seeing him just going at those guys and his bone claws just breaking. It was just like, oh yeah, the duh. I don't know what they're made out of, but he's fighting big ass robots, you know, and it's awesome. It's just so cool. It's so cool to see this like savage looking Wolverine, which also his suit was pretty cool. I love their little future suits. Those are dope. I like those a lot. But I just like how they presented it. I like how they opened. I think it was a great opening for this new season. It was good. It was a good setup for everything. And I think there's going to be some really good episodes to come for sure.
You know, I keep hearing the term member berries being used, you know, on everything. And dude, these are member mangoes. These are not member berries.
For sure. Make member watermelons, man. These things, I love it. I love it. Just gotta keep them coming though. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you know, Storm was powerful enough to where in the old series she got hauled off to another planet, and there was a king, and he recruited her, but he also wanted to marry her. She could bring.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if I didn't have a girlfriend, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. The other point that you mentioned about the costumes and the bone claws was that in the 90s X-Men, around the Onslaught era, he did have the bone claws, but he also had that same costume. He had that bandana around his head. It was funny because they had an action figure to that years ago. And the dude was giant. They made him like huge. Didn't make any sense. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. Izzy, thanks again so much for joining me on this episode 1 review of season 2 for X-Men 97.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. And please let us know what you think. Did you love it? Did you not like it? Is it the X-meh? You know, so tell us what you think, and we'll see you again.